Hello, everyone, and welcome to Red Media Radio for another episode of Therapeutic Tea Tuesdays with Life Coach Miss Star. And every Tuesday, I am so excited because it gives me another opportunity on Red Media Radio on this platform to inspire you with a guest. And I'm so excited. I have a new awesome, wonderful friend, and her name is Dene. Dene, would you please introduce your lovely self to our wonderful audience?
Hi, everyone. I'm Dene Dessuit. I am a motivational speaker and an author. I love to influence and motivate others, and that's the path I'm headed on in life. So I'm Dene.
Hey, Dene, welcome to Therapeutic Tea Tuesdays.
Thank you.
And just to give y'all some background, Dene and I are super excited because we are actually going to be speaking at an event together soon. I was so impressed with Dene's content, her awesome website, and we took time, and here we are today. So we ready, Dene.
Yes.
So guys, get your tea, get your journals ready. We about to have an inspiring interview. Dene, first and foremost, how are you feeling this Tuesday?
I'm feeling excited, first and foremost, to be in your presence. I'm looking forward to creating an impact. I'm grateful for being here, and thank you for all that you do. And I pray that your business continues to flourish and you continue to touch people with Therapeutic Tuesdays.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for being on this platform. Thank you for what you're about to bless our audience with. And most important, for just being the beautiful woman of God that you are.
Thank you.
Yes. And the name of this episode is Flower Power. And we're gonna get into it of why it's called that. And if you're watching this, you can see Dene's lovely background. So we're gonna have some fun. Dene, let's start off. Let the audience know, because I know some information about you, your age, and where are you from?
I am 25 years of age, and I'm located in the United States Virgin Islands, particularly the island of St. Thomas.
How is St. Thomas? How's the weather there?
It's usually sunny, lots of beaches. Right now, we're currently in hurricane season, so we're getting a little drizzle here and there, but it's mostly sunny year round.
Oh, that is awesome. I haven't been to St. Thomas yet, Dene, but it is definitely on my bucket list. Now, Dene, you and I were talking, and you are mainly supposed to be going through a transition, right? Are you thinking about moving?
Yes, most definitely. It's different. I'm still preparing my mind and getting stuff ready because it's not just the physical move. Mentally, you have to think about these different things and a new environment, what you're gonna do. So I'm kind of, taking my time bit by bit, step by step in doing that. And I'm definitely looking forward to creating an impact wherever I go and, becoming all the person who God has for me to be and just growing and enlightening others and spreading positivity.
Yes, you are absolutely going to do that. And we're looking forward to you coming over to the United States. Oh, that is awesome, Dene. That is so awesome. Dene, I wanted to ask this question. This is the first time that I asked this on my show. If someone said, "Who is Dene?" what would you say to that person?
I would say Dene is a person who tries to inspire others, who wants to bring out happiness, who will spend her life trying to help people to see the positive side of life, regardless of whether they're going through, who aims to try to make people happy, who tries to dig deep and tries to find the meaning of life and share that with others. Dene is a person who's tenacious, who does not give up, No matter how much times she's told no, she will try to find a way. She's a person that has a resistance and resilience, and she wants others to have the same mentality, or if not, want to inspire them to dig deep within themselves and find the things that help them to feel fulfilled and enlightened.
Oh, that is absolutely beautiful. The world needs that. We as women, we want to inspire one another. That is beautiful, Dene. You said, especially when you said resilience, getting to that point. So here you are, Dene. You're 25 years old, from the U.S. version, St. Thomas in particular. Now you're resilient. What got you to that point? You're 25 years in life. What got you to this point to inspire other people and women in particular?
The things I have encountered in life has brought me to this point. At first, it wasn't something that I considered. I knew I had the stuff I've been through in life, whereas the different trials I've endured, I've told myself, if I could go through it and get through it, other people can as well. And I know sometimes when you're going through a storm, you don't necessarily see the sun, or you don't see the ending or the light at the end of the tunnel. So I told myself, you should try to help other people who are going through the same stuff you went through or different stuff. And you should help them to realize that they're not the only ones going through it. And there is hope for them, even though they may not see it. It wasn't definitely the path that I thought I would have been on. According to me, if I had my own way, I wanted to be an attorney, but God had other plans. Sometimes we try to say, what am I going to do, God? Is this what I'm going to do? But his plans are what's best for us. And sometimes I think accepting those plans, regardless of if something we want to do or not, God knows best, and follow him and his footsteps. He won't ever leave you wrong. So that's what brought me to this point. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I guess you can call it growing pains. And I'm still trying to find out what works and what doesn't. But I'm definitely grateful for the journey, because it definitely has taught me a lot. And I'm grateful for where I'm headed. And I'm really looking forward to inspiring more people along the way, and hopefully traveling the world and speaking to millions. That is the goal.
Yes, and Dene, you're gonna get to that goal. It's going to inspire so many people, because you're resilient, because you're going after your dream. That is so beautiful. I like what you said too, because to make a funny point, when you talked about you want to be an attorney, well, you speaking, so those crucial skills, you just putting it out on that stage. They had this motto where it was called like slay the stage, and Dene, you're gonna continue to do that and to just inspire so many people. And I'm gonna be here for it.
Thank you. I really appreciate
Yes,
it.
I think it's so beautiful, because when you have a gift and you're going through those growing pains and you're going through the journey, it's absolutely amazing. Dene, how do you feel now? So you're this motivational speaker, and now you're looking back on it as an attorney. How do you feel being in this position now?
I feel like I can still make an impact, just in a different way. I feel like attorneys make impacts, but they're different. I feel like they can be motivational speakers when they do need to be. And I feel like whenever the time comes for that, they will do that for their clients. But I feel like with the audiences I'm trying to hit, I'm trying to reach more people. My impact is going to be the same, but it's going to be slightly different a little bit. But I realize that, sometimes we just have to accept things, and I found on this journey that I actually love motivational speaking. I love empowering others, and it's not too different from an attorney. Maybe later in life I might look back more and say, what would have happened differently if I had been an attorney. But it does cross my mind sometimes, what would have happened had I followed that path. But I think it's pretty much the same of creating an impact.
Yes, that is awesome, Dene. And I think that is so important to go after. Like you said, when God plants that seed in your heart and you're obedient after much prayer, you're in the right position. And From the way that you speak, I'm so happy that you're here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Oh, that is awesome. Dene, you and I were talking and talking so therapeutically, just as women, about life. And right now, you are actually working, and then you're also pursuing your dream. Let the audience know, and it is wonderful. And I'm gonna let Dene speak to it. What is motivating in motion?
Motivating in Motion is a quality motivational service that tries to enhance people's lives. It tries to motivate people to be the best version of themselves, regardless of what they endure in life, to see the light at the end of the tunnel and to persevere no matter what life throws at them.
I absolutely love it. That's your mission, to inspire people. Danae, where can people find this beautiful information about motivating in motion?
You can find Motivating in Motion on my website at www.motivatinginmotion.com. I'm also on Instagram at motivating_in_motion. And I'm on Facebook at Motivating in Motion or Dene Dessuit.
I love it. Yeah, check out Danae's Instagram, her website for motivational speaking. She has beautiful clip pictures, so feel free to check it out. It will truly bless and inspire you. Danae, with that being said, how do you juggle your time? So here you are working, pursuing your dream, motivational speaking, which you is a reality, and then you're working as well. What does that look like for you?
For me, it sometimes can get busy. It can be overwhelming at times where you have to prioritize, your goals first more than your job in a way. But it's like you still have to do your job, but you have to remember the long-term goals and who you're serving and what you're trying to accomplish. It can get hectic, especially with travel. um the travel from the United States Virgin Islands is a journey. It's a journey. I've had like 10-hour layovers in airports and stuff. So for me, it's all about the impact and all about the dream. And I think that I'm willing in this stage of my life to do what I need to do, no matter how hard, no matter how tough it may be, to get there. I think the resilience is what pushes me through, and seeing the end result, even though I'm not near it or I'm not where I want to be as yet. I think the drive to get there and the journey along the way is what keeps me pushing through juggling work and motivational speaking.
Absolutely. You know what you said that was so impactful is that you have layovers that are extensively long, 10 hours. And the fact that you pushed through to get here and to provide that motivational speaking, that's absolutely just amazing, Danae. And that shows where your heart is and how much you really love motivational speaking.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Danae, you talked about United States and Virgin Islands. Let us know a little bit background. Do you get motivational speaking in both continents, or what does the difference look like thus far?
What happens is in the United States, the traffic for motivational speaking is more larger than the Virgin Islands because we're a US territory, but we're not that big. We're 32 square miles. And the impacts it have on the United States is different because the United States has the audience for what I'm trying to accomplish, whereas the Virgin Islands has an audience, but it is not as often as the United States. There are some similarities and some differences. I feel like in the United States, there are more opportunities there for me to pursue my dream and to have a greater impact. Sometimes I think about, staying home, but it's like the dream kind of calls. It's like, wake up, you can't stay here. There's more for you. And it kind of hurts me in a way because I've been telling myself that I would relocate to, pursue better and impact more individuals. But saying that and actually doing it is two different things. And now that I'm actually in the process of doing it, I'm like, man, this is really hard. But I know it's necessary. I know that I have to, if I want to pursue my dreams, this is something I'm going to have to do. Lots of praying, lots of depending on God, because sometimes we don't know, especially when we're walking by faith. When you're believing in stuff that you can't see as yet, it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. It just means that your belief will take you through. And when you get there, I feel like it's better. So yes, very different. The audience, there's more people in the United States. They're more receptive. Here they're receptive as well, but I feel like I get more feedback in the United States.
That's interesting. Thank you for sharing that with our wonderful audience. That's something new that I learned. I was very curious about how it looks in the U.S. Virgin Islands from the United States. So, and I commend you, Dene, too, for taking that leap of faith and moving from, even though, like you said, we're considered, but it's still a whole nother continent to a whole nother new place and up and rooting. And I just want to say, as we are building our friendship, anytime you need help or just a shoulder or just support, I'm here in the USA, so I can definitely support.
Thank you. I definitely will be leaning on you. And I definitely am grateful that you have told me that, because I definitely will be calling you. I will take you up on that offer, not only to get, feedback from you, but also to hear what you're working on and to also be a shoulder for you as well.
Yes, absolutely. I appreciate it so much. I always say this: when you put two women, when you collaborate with them together, and they both bring ideas, it inspires so many people.
Mm-hmm.
And it not only blesses them, but it blesses us too. It fulfills the mission that God put us to do ultimately.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah, so yeah, get ready for some more collaborations from Dene and I. Y'all already will see us next month for the She Rise, We Rise Boston Empowerment event on Saturday, November 5th. Details will be dropping soon, but Dene and I will be talking, and we are ready to perform well on that stage.
Yes.
And Dene, thank you, because I'm newer to motivation speaking, but you have been motivation speaking for how long?
It's been about a couple of years now, about 2 to 3. However, I've been speaking my whole life, but
Wow.
I have recently took on the role as motivational speaker. I'm like, you've been doing this whole time. You need a little polishing up, but it's pretty much the same. But I've grown in speaking. I speak from experience now, more as before it was just different topics. More I'm experiencing now. I'm actually living through what I speak about.
Right. You gain wisdom. I love that. And on a call audience, Dene was so nice and actually gave me tips on motivational speaking. So thank you so much for that, sis. Dene, you mentioned something. Let our audience know what that looked like. You said you've been speaking your entire life. What does that, or what did that look like for you? Especially, so you're 25, that means you started motivational, depending on where your age is, probably about 22 and a half, maybe 23, but your whole life. What do you mean you've been speaking your whole entire life?
My mom would enter me in various competitions when I was in elementary school to speak. I would always get excellent. I was always get, you're one of the top speakers. You were one of the top people. And I continued that tradition until high school, where I entered a competition. And, I necessarily didn't win that time. And I thought I was supposed to. I really thought I was supposed to win. But sometimes things happen for a reason we may not understand. But I didn't realize that setback prepared me for a comeback. The comeback was, I won in my school speaking, and I was able to actually travel to Trinidad to compete against other schools from the Caribbean. And I was going through so much at that time. I was like, Lord, I don't know how I'm going to do it emotionally. But I told God, I know this is something you have for me. I know I'm going to win. And I went there and I competed against 15 other schools, and I actually won. I really had some faith. Yep.
How was that experience, Dene? Like, you competed against 15 schools and you won?
Yes. it was nerve-wracking, especially like other people who thought they were going to win. Some came off as, I got this, to try to psych you out in a way. And I heard one say that. I'm like, okay, you think you're going to win, but I'm going to show you today. So I kind of kept quiet. And I'm like, if he only knows, I'm going to win. But I had to keep humble. And I believe that God kept me humble in that moment to be like, don't worry. You're going to show them. Let my work speak for itself. You don't have to say anything to prove that you're good enough. So that showed me, when I heard them call my name, I'm like, whoa, God, we really did it. And I'm like, no, we did it. You did it. But it was really exciting. Like I can't find a word to say how I felt in that moment. It's just like God really showed himself in that moment. Like, yeah, once you believe in me and you know you can do anything, you can really do anything. And I think having faith in God is amazing, and it's important in our lives because he does work wonders. That was my first, I can say, big experience with God, where he really showed out himself. He had showed out in other parts of my life, but I wasn't paying attention as much as I should have been paying attention. But yeah, it really was. I don't think I slept that night. I was just overjoyed. I'm like, you need to tell your family you won. I told myself I was gonna win before, so I already had that mindset that, come what may, I'm gonna win. And after I performed, I kind of felt defeated. I'm like, wow, these people did better than you. Maybe I try to psych myself out a little bit. I kind of felt like, I was comparing myself. And then when I heard them announce the winner is Dene, I'm like, oh God, that's you. So it was really amazing. It was amazing.
Oh, thank you for sharing that wonderful story. Shout out to your mom, too, for putting you in your dream at such a young age. That is awesome.
Thank you.
And then you get an opportunity to go to Trinidad. I like, Dene, you know what you said that was really impactful was when you said, Amber, God kept me humble, because you already had it in your heart and your mind and your spirit that you were going to win, but you didn't want to come out and say, hey, I'm a win. You were just like, be humble. And I always say this because I live by this. Everybody, when your vision is so great, sometimes it's better just to move in silence.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
In
Definitely.
silence. Be humble, be prayed up, because I'm definitely a prayer warrior, and just move. So congratulations to winning. And I'm
Thank
glad.
you.
I also love what you said too. You said, Amber, before God was showing up in your life, but sometimes we get busy, audience, right? We
Mhm.
get busy, but when I call it when God shows out and shows out, boy, and you get it, it's a humbling and a blessing experience.
Mhm. Very true. Very true. Spoken from the heart. Very true.
Yes. Oh, sis, that was powerful. We going back into the flower power, but that God is powerful, and that experience was powerful. So congratulations. And I'm glad it really started you to be here today. And when you were talking about it, you just got so passionate. You're over there smiling. So that is so awesome. Oh, thank you for that background.
No problem.
Danae, here you are, this motivational speaker, and you are also an author.
Yes.
Before we break down your books, how did you get into writing?
I told myself one day that I would write a book about my life. I told myself I wanted it to be different. Most people who write books about their lives usually write it when they're older or they have lived through most of their lives. But I told myself I wanted it to be a book that had different volumes, volume 1 or volume 2, so I can take people along the journey with me while I am living it, because I don't know who else may be going through the same thing right now at the very time, and they may not need it 20 more years down the road. They may need the inspiration and the influence right now. So I told myself I'm going to put out different pieces of what I'm going through when I have achieved certain levels. I'll put it out so people can understand and be there with me while I go through this. So it's an ongoing process of growth. And while I'm growing, they may be growing as well.
I love that. I love what you said too. You said volumes, right? Because we all go through volumes and transitions in life. So you're taking them along your journey. That is amazing, sis.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
I love it. How long have you been writing? Has this, just like with the motivational speaking, has this been something from a young age, or did you start to discover this like in middle school, high school?
Actually, now that you brought it up, I have been writing for a while. I started in poetry, writing out my emotions and my feelings, and now I'm into writing books and quotes. But I have been writing my feelings. Basically, you could say my whole life. I think at the age of 10, I started writing how I felt, describing it in, something known as poetry and different ways I could express things, and kind of created my own little styles of it. But definitely, I have been writing a while. I evolved. Yeah, I evolved in writing. At first, I wasn't where I am now, but through each writing, I've gotten better, and I've continued to write more and more. God usually tells me what to write, and I think that's one of the biggest things that has helped me. Like, sometimes I do not know what to write, and God will put something on my head when I'm in a plane, and I'm just like, God, you serious right now? And He's like, yeah, write this down. Like, the ideas just come to me at different moments, and sometimes I'm out. I'm like, oh girl, you gotta write this on your phone. You gotta write this on your notebook. You gotta write this down somewhere. Because when the ideas come to me, I have to write them, because they don't come to me. Then the same idea never comes to me twice. And it's always something inspirational when I'm traveling, when I'm looking for things to be inspired about or to inspire others. It definitely comes at different times.
Oh, I love that, Dene. I love what you said because it started from younger, and I can relate to you because I love to write poetry when I was younger. But then you get older, you go to college, you get busy. But just like you mentioned, I'll be like in an Uber, and just stuff with content just start coming to me, and I just start writing, and it's
Mhm.
like I feel like we're all artists. And audience, this is for you too. Whether you're motivational speaking, whether it's poetry, whether it's you drawing, whether it's you cleaning someone's house so well, whether it's you being a great caregiver, all of that is art. All of that is art. I love it, Danae. I love it. Let the audience know you have written 3 books. Go ahead and break down those books, the titles, and what those books are like, Danae.
The first book I have is entitled Through It All. It is a book about what I have faced from birth throughout my high school graduation, the obstacles that I have faced along the way, whereas being raised by my aunt, having a mentally ill mother, and never knowing who my father is, the challenges that I have faced along the way, and how I have gone through it, and what makes me who I am today. And just a journey of life that tells you it doesn't matter where your father is, where your mom is, it doesn't matter. God has placed us all here for a reason. And sometimes we may not know what that reason is, but it's not up to us to fully understand. Once
Mhm.
God placed us here, there was purpose. And I had to find out throughout it all that, I'm worthy and I'm amazing. I had to realize that, who my father is, who my mother is, didn't make me. God made me. And God tells us we're perfect. We're perfect in his eyes. So I had to endure many things, such as my identity, trying to find out who I was and all of that, because when you're born and you find out these different questions you may have about your life, you may not understand everything. But throughout that, I accepted the fact that I may never know who he is, and not knowing that doesn't change anything about me. It doesn't make my value decrease. It doesn't mean I'm not worthy. It just means that God is my father and God is here for me. And that's the best father anyone could have. And accepting the fact that, my biological mom is mentally ill and I can't change that. Some things about your life you can't change. And just because she's one way, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean I'm not destined for greatness. That doesn't mean that there is not something tied to me. If God was through with us, we wouldn't be breathing right now. I feel like because we have breath in our bodies, God is not done with us. There is more for us to do on this earth. And that's what Through It All is about. My second book is entitled 50. life-changing motivational quotes. In the book, I have quotes with pictures that resonate with the quotes, that help people to read them daily, that help you get through different situations. If you need positivity. There's one quote in particular in the book that I love. It says, "The window of opportunity should adjust for you," which
Ooh.
means life's opportunities will adjust for you. You should not shrink yourself or adjust to fit through those windows. Those windows should adjust for us. And it means that we are so important. We are so loved. We are so amazing that opportunities literally will adjust for us. We shouldn't adjust our values for those opportunities. Those opportunities will and should adjust for us because we're so special.
Ah,
My next book is entitled My next book is entitled The Self-Love Journal. It's a journal about your self-love journey. There are different questions in it where it's asking, how do you feel today? What are your goals for the week? To kind of keep track of how you're doing so you can look back on each page and compare how you're feeling today to how you were feeling yesterday. And if you're not where you want to be or how you want to feel, to acknowledge and adjust what can you do different in your life that can help you have a better tomorrow.
ah, ah, I think of three arrive. So here you are. You're talking about your journey when you was younger, your mom, your father. Then you got these motivational quotes, and you got this journal. Oh, Dene, I don't know about you, audience, but I know me personally. I'm looking forward for 3 more.
Thank you.
That is awesome, Danae. Where can the audience find these lovely books?
You can find all of the 3 books on Amazon. You can put in my name on the search engine, Dene Dessuit, and all 3 books should pop up.
Oh, that is awesome. And I will link some more information below, but go check out the motivational quotes, Dene's personal story in her life thus far, and a journal. And as soon as you said self-love, Dene, that really resonates with me too, because me being a coach, I coach on self-love because it is absolutely so important to love yourself so that way you can love others.
Yes.
So I love the self-love journal. That is just awesome. So yeah, continue, sis, continue writing, continue inspiring. You are so passionate about it, and it's showing up, and it's just absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
That is awesome. Speaking of quotes, I know you mentioned one quote that you wrote in your book. There was a quote that also started this title, Flower Power, that I really liked. And Danae, what you wrote on Motivating in Motion was, you are a flower that must blossom in every season. Danae, beautiful. Let our lovely audience know, where did you get that from, and what does that quote mean?
I got it because I was in a season of my life where I felt down, I felt unmotivated, and I
Danae,
yes.
I am so sorry. Sorry audience, we had a few technical issues. So I'm gonna just bring it back, Danae. We gonna keep moving. We gonna keep moving.
No problem.
Danae, so you have this lovely quote, and where did that quote come from, and what does that mean?
The quote, "You are a flower that must blossom in every season," means that in every season we should show up to be our full selves, even though sometimes we may not feel like it, just like flowers. Flowers necessarily don't really bloom in every season, but they sometimes close up themselves and they're preparing. But it doesn't mean that they're not blooming just because we can't see it. I think that it could be compared to our lives, because sometimes just because we can't see our growth or we can't see results right away doesn't mean that we're not going somewhere. Just because results and things are not happening as fast as we would like doesn't mean that things are not happening. Sometimes you can be on a path where you feel like your life is going slow, and tomorrow you can wake up and you could reach your destination, but you didn't realize that throughout this whole journey you were doing something. It didn't just happen overnight. I feel like we're similar to flowers, because flowers are beautiful. We are beautiful. Flowers bloom. There are different types of flowers, just like there are different types of people and personalities. And I feel like in every season of our lives, we should try to be our best selves and show up for ourselves. Even though sometimes things may be rocky, we should continue and persevere and never give up on ourselves.
I absolutely love it. I love that quote. I love what you're saying, because I feel like when you are intentional about life, I feel like we're growing every day. No matter how old we get, like even if you're 25, 35, 65, you're growing every day. And when you really into it, you want to learn every day. So just like that flower, oh my goodness, we're just growing. We're taking apart. I love that. And I think as females, like you said, we're soft as a flower. We like when men give us or purchase us flowers. And even when we purchase ourselves flowers, sometimes it's beautiful, right? You look at it and it's absolutely amazing. And thank you, God, that we're able to see it, taking it back, because he's just so good, but it's beautiful. It also reminds me of, I believe it was, and you might know the song, I believe it was the lovely Aretha Franklin that came up with You're Still a Rose. Do you remember? Do you know that song? You
Not
never
to its
heard
entirety.
Yes, some of audience, you might know it, but I believe it was Aretha Franklin, and she came out with this song called You're Still a Rose, and it was just so beautiful. Yes, it was Aretha Franklin. It was just so beautiful because in the song it talks about this particular woman, and she made some mistakes, but at the end of the day, because of God's grace, because of your mercy, because of who you are and where your heart is, you're still a rose. You're still beautiful. You're still clean. Go ahead and still strive. So I love that. I love that. Oh, Dene, thank you for that quote and being the beautiful flower that you are.
Thank you. You as well.
Yes, yes. And audience, yeah, we about to do something different on this Therapeutic Tea Tuesday. So yeah, I am blessed. We are blessed to have a motivational speaker. So Dene is actually going to surprise me, but where we talked about her background, her passion for motivational speaking, her book, she's an author, she's a motivational speaker. Then we talked about the title, Beautiful Women, You Are Flowers and You Hold Power in Jesus' name. And now I'm going to take a little break, and Dene is going to even surprise me and bless us with a motivational speech. Dene, feel free to, I know this was ever in your heart. We have at least another good 20 minutes. So feel free to bless us with some inspiring words if you have a title or details. But I'm ready to be surprised. I'm ready to be impactful, and I'm ready to take the audience on this part of this wonderful interview.
Definitely. I'm ready. Today, I will be talking about life's obstacles and how God can help us through them. I currently am going through a process in my life. God prepare us for the things we ask for, whether we realize it or not. I told God I wanted to be a motivational speaker. Me thinking, okay, this is what I'm going to do. But sometimes we don't realize that in doing that, I'm going to go through everything that I'm going to speak about. And sometimes it can be difficult, especially, when I'm not knowing when something's going to happen or something's going to come. But I notice that every time before I'm about to speak, something relating to the topic or what I should speak about always happens to me. And I
Mm.
realized that that's God telling me, you can't talk to people about coming through trials and tribulations, and you didn't been through much. Or you can't be talking about going to the next chapter of your life if you can't go through it. So it resonated with me, and it told me that, I know that I have big shoes to fill, and I know that God has something grand and great for me. But I also know that showing up on the stage is not the only work that I have to do, but I also have to do my inner work, which is working through what I go through and being able to show up fully for myself and for those that I'm actually motivating. Because if I don't go through what I'm talking about, how am I going to be able to help others? And sometimes I sit and I say, God, is this it? And he's like, yeah, this is it. I'm preparing you for what you asked for. So you can't complain and you can't get sad. You can get frustrated. It happens at times, but you have to be prepared for what you asked me for. It doesn't mean that it's gonna have smooth sailings. It doesn't mean that everything is gonna go always the way I think it should go. Sometimes in life gives us detours. And the detours doesn't mean that it's a dead end. It just means that we should take a separate route. Sometimes we can confuse detours with a dead end at times when we're scared, when we don't trust God, when we don't know which way we're going. We can think that it's a dead end sign, but it's actually a detour, which is God telling us, stop. This is not what I want for you. You should go another way. Or sometimes it takes God taking you away from something or someone or a job that you think that you love so much. For me, I realized that what I want for myself is not necessarily what God wants for me. And I had to understand that. I had to come to terms with, okay, this is not what you want from me. I'm going to have to accept your will. And for me, I tried to say, okay, I'm going to stay at my job another year. I'm going to, maybe do something different. But God said, no, this is it for you. I have something better for you. And
Mm.
if you don't want to move, I am going to make you move. I'm going to make it so that you don't go back and you can't go back. And that's what he did for me in this season. He made so that I would not go back to my job, because if it was up to me, I would stay there for another year or two, enduring, even though I know I really don't want to be there physically, enduring it to say, I'm fine, or I have a job. Sometimes we sit down and we're fine because we're complacent when we're fine, and when the bills are getting taken care of, or when we know there's income coming in. But God told me, no, you have to move. This is not the end for you. This is just a detour. And I sat down and I was trying to say, I wanted to go back to who I was before. And something hit me a day. It said, you were never to go back to who you were. I'm trying to
Mm.
transform you into something different. You cannot use the old tactics that you did before to get through this season. You're going to have to now develop new ways of getting through this, because old habits or old keys don't unlock new doors. So I had
Ooh.
to come to terms with what God was doing with me. And I told myself, this is not going to be easy. But God always said that he never gave us anything that we can't bear. And I said, if God can bring me through this, he can get me through it. So for me, I would like to encourage anybody that is going through a storm or going through something hard in their lives, that there is light at the end of the tunnel and there is a way out. Even though you may not see it, even though your days or your nights may look so cloudy, there is more for you. And this is just a season of your life. It's not going to last forever. You will be able to live and to tell how you get through this season. And it might not be easy, it might not be smooth sailing, but you will reach the light at the end of that tunnel, and you will be able to tell a story where you will be able to bless someone and empower someone that if you got through it, they can get through it as well. I'm also learning now about the process of life and how it's so funny. The things that we tell God that we want, God listens, and he's like, okay, you want this? I'm going to show it to you. For years, years and years, I had a fear of driving. I don't know why. I got taken where I needed to go, but my family, when I go to speak in the States, there's Uber. I was comfortable. And I got to a place where God is like, I got tired of being like, hey, can you take me here? Hey, can you take me there? I'm like, no, you got to get up and you got to face your fears, you got to get your license, you got to stop being so complacent. And I literally said, I wanted to get my license by my mother's birthday, which was September 24th. And I told myself, you sure about that? I told a friend that. And the friend told me, I don't think you can get it. That's too fast. You need more classes. You're not going to get it that fast. And sometimes when people give us advice, it doesn't necessarily mean that the advice is bad, but they're just giving you advice from their view of things. They're not you. So you can't expect them to tell you what to do with your life when you know what you can accomplish. And I realized that. I said, maybe she's right. And that was doubt creeping in. Maybe she's right. You can accomplish this license by this date. What's wrong with you? Maybe you should extend it a little more. So it happened so that I'm saying, okay, maybe October. I was in a driving school for about 8 lessons. And, I said, okay, I'm going to take it in October or the last week in September. It happened so that my last driving lesson, the driving teacher told me, he said, when are you planning to take your tests? I'm like, I'm trying to do it next week, Monday. And this was Thursday. My mom's birthday was a Saturday. And he was like, no, I think you should take this test tomorrow. And I'm like, tomorrow? I have to go get my hair done for my mom's party. I got to do all of these things. What you talking about tomorrow? I'm already trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my hair. You're telling me I should take this test tomorrow. So I was freaking out, but I'm like, maybe that's God speaking through him. Maybe that's God telling him, you're ready. Go and take your tests. You're going to pass. So I went the Friday. I took the test and I passed. And I remembered, I said, wait, what's today? Friday the 23rd. I said, wait, didn't you tell yourself? I said, God is a funny God. I said, didn't you tell yourself you wanted to have your license by your mom's birthday? And look, sure enough, it showed up the day before. And I'm just like, wow, I know that it's God, because it's funny. We say things and we don't know the power some things have, but every word we say has power. And I know that, and I've learned that. I keep learning that throughout life. And I'm like, look at how funny this is. It just started with a thought, and I just said it, and it just actually happened. I said, that's the power of God. That's the power of speaking power into your life and not even realizing it, So I really was grateful for that. And it taught me something. It taught me, do not let other people's limitations that they place affect your life. You know your limitations. Sometimes others might be looking out for you, but it does not mean that their advice is the best. God knows best. And sometimes it's up to us to decipher what advice we're going to take from someone and what advices we're going to leave. Because not all advice is good advice. Not to say that the persons are bad, but they're speaking from their perspective and their way of things. And everybody handles things differently. I'm just definitely glad to be here. I'm glad to be able to speak. I feel so excited right now. Speaking just ignites something in me. I'm just so blessed to be here with Amber. I'm really blessed to be speaking to you. I'm hoping that I touched someone in my little speech. I hope it was powerful, and I hope I said something that resonated with someone, to encourage someone to change, to follow their passion, to follow their dreams, to trust God, and to believe that things are possible for all who believe, and the impossible is possible. And faith can move mountains. I really hope that I made an effect on somebody. I hope that this was somebody's prayer. This was somebody's word today that carries them through the week. And I'm so grateful to be here, Miss Amber.
When you were speaking, oh my goodness, you can see me, my expression. That was so extraordinary. Dene, just to own it all in, and I know I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, to own it all in, to give the audience member that catchy phrase for that speech, what would you call that? To just own it on that lovely experience.
It was, I guess you could say, having faith, having faith through the storm. Yes. Ooh. Having faith through the storm.
Woo! And you embodied that faith.
Thank you.
There was a few points that, oh, my pleasure. There was a few points that you said that I want to own and on, because that speech was, oh, having faith through the storm. All right. What do you say, Dene? There was some detours, right? When we think of a detour, if you're on the highway, there's usually an orange symbol, and it'll say detour. And the exit that you were going on, you might not can't take the exit. You might have to go up 2 exits. Dene, when someone has a detour in life, what would you say to that audience member to get through?
I would tell that audience member to have faith, to believe in themselves, to take time. That's very important. To take time to process and understand what's going on. Many times we try to think of a solution right away or off the bat, and we trying to send our head into a frenzy trying to figure out what's going to happen. And sometimes in those moments, we should be still and try to consolidate our thoughts and be at ease, and then think about something. Usually when we're in a problem, we try to think about solutions in like seconds, and that's normal. It's human nature. But sometimes we should give ourselves grace and give ourselves moments to process things, because when you're able to process things later down the line, you're able to understand why certain things had to happen. And if you're not able to understand it, you're able to accept, okay, this is a part of my journey. This is a little detour, but I'm going to be all right. God didn't bring me this far to leave me. And whatever life throws at me, no matter how many detours you may get, that you will end up right back on that highway. There is no dead end until you're dead.
Yes, yes, yes. I love it. Keep going. He will make a way. When it's what you're passionate about and what you love, just like I love life coaching, self-love, faith, and healing. And I love motivational speaking and empowering women, no matter what it looks like, no matter if the bills pile up, no matter if someone's like, I can't do this, or someone might not agree with it. God is always going to make a way, Dene. That was just powerful. When you have a detour audience, like Dene said, keep going, keep pushing. I love what you said. Give yourself grace. Grace and mercy are chasing after you. Dene, that was empowering. Especially another key I want to own in on your wonderful motivational speech was when you said that what you speak, and this is biblical, because what you speak in your life is so important. Dene, and I mentioned this in my coaching because I think it's very important to some of my past clients. What would you say are some of your favorite affirmations that you, Dene, personally speak into your life?
I told myself when I get up in the mornings, you're amazing. I actually have a board that I've written that I have my goals on, that I have the words to say when I'm feeling down. Some of the words I say to myself when I'm feeling down is, you can't wait for the right moment. The right moment is never going to come. You have to create it. Sometimes we wait for the right moment or the green light when God is trying to tell us, okay, this is a red light, but I'm telling you to go, you should go. Not in traffic, guys. Don't do that. But it's like God always makes a way and tells us what to do. Another affirmation I have is, although you can't see things, and faith is not seeing the whole staircase, but believing that you will finish the staircase. That's a quote by Martin Luther King that I really love. Another quote that I have written was that life will take you through many obstacles, but make sure you achieve them. Each obstacle will be different, and you might not know how to handle the situation, but God is always there. And each situation, you may learn something new that'll help you get through it, that the next person might need. Another affirmation that I have is, life doesn't always give you lemons, which people have heard before.
Yes.
Sometimes they give you oranges and tell you to make orange juice, and you're still trying to make lemonade. I'm just like, I'm trying to make lemonade with this orange juice. No, he gave you the orange to make orange juice, and you're always going to be frustrated when you try to make something what's not supposed to be work. That's not supposed to work. You're always going to be frustrated and angered. And that's when you know when something is from God. When you see you're frustrated, or you're tired and you're trying to make something work and it just would not go together, that's God telling you, leave it. Leave it in my hands. Give yourself grace. Learn that it's not for you and move on. I will give you something better. I'll give you what you deserve. I'll give you what's rightfully yours. So those are some affirmations that keep me up. And also, things don't happen overnight. Things are a process. Sometimes in our lives, we want things to happen. I want it to happen tomorrow. And I used to be like that. My patience used to be, I think it was like here. And through this situation, God grew my patience. And it's just like now I realize, I wanted to have it tomorrow, but it can't. Maybe it'll happen next week. I don't know. But I'm gonna keep the same momentum as it's gonna happen. Because that's how you have to live your life. You never know when your breakthrough or your moment is gonna come, but you should live every day as if that moment were gonna be today or tomorrow.
Absolutely. Those positive affirmations speak life into you, Dene. That was beautiful. For your age where you are so mature and you are so positive, and I absolutely love it, sis.
Thank you.
Oh, and I wanted to tell you, sis. Oh, for those watching, so you got the pink nails, you got the pink robe, pink shirt, you got the pink background. Were you feeling beautiful like a pink flower today?
Thank you. Yes, I was a flower today.
A flower every day, sis.
Yes. Thank
Danae,
you.
oh, thank you for showing up on this episode of Therapeutic Tea Tuesdays as your authentic self. Danae, remind the audience all your social media platforms where they can connect with you.
You can connect with me on Instagram at motivating_in_motion. And you can connect with me on Facebook at Motivating in Motion or Dene Dessuit, or you can send me a message on my website at www.motivatinginmotion.com.
That is awesome. And Danae, what is going to be your next speaking engagement where everyone could go check you out and hear you and see you in person?
My next speaking engagement is with Amber on the big stage in Boston at the Women Empowering Women event. It's going to be an event that will be held on November 5th. You can come and check us out. We'll be full of all the motivation. We'll be full and ready to pour into others. We'll be ready to inspire you to be your best self, authentic selves. No matter what life throws at you, you are an overcomer. You will overcome in this season, whether you think so or not, whether you think you're not blooming, you are blooming. And there is something special inside of you. So anyone who's in the area or wants to come, we'll be in Boston at Women Empower Women events.
Yes, yes, yes. Danae, with all that, I mean, being on the stage with you, how should I get prepared?
You're gonna do awesome. You're gonna spread light. You're gonna spread motivation. You're gonna help others to wake up and realize. I'm really excited about what you're gonna be speaking about and what you're gonna bring. I'm definitely looking forward to being receptive and taking some clues and bits of your own personal life and your own personal statement into my life and incorporating it. I'm looking forward to learning from each and every one of the speakers, and I'm looking forward to being in your presence. I can feel the positivity through the screen, and I'm thinking if I can feel it from here, it's gonna be a whole lot more person.
I'm so ready. I can't wait. I look forward rather to sharing the stage and empowering so many women with you. Thank you so much, Danae, for showing up and providing this authentic therapeutic speech to our lovely audience. Thank you so much, sis.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Oh, lovely audience, check out Danae on those websites. Go purchase her books. They are awesome. Motivation journal, her personal life story. And you already know Saturday, November 5th in Boston, we're going to be, it's about to be a great time. We got a fashion show. There's going to be vendors. There's going to be a 3-course lunch. So get ready, y'all. We ready to inspire and to meet all you wonderful people in person. Yeah, you already know. I get so excited. My name is Life Coach Miss Star. You can catch me on all major social media platforms. If you are looking, this is for the women in particular, looking for coaching in self-love, in healing, and in faith, feel free to book life coaching sessions with me at mymentor.life/Amber Star. And yeah, I got a surprise package deals coming out for you soon. So go ahead and check it out. It would be my honor to bless you. Thank you for being on Red Media Radio with me in this platform. Feel free to subscribe, to like, and to follow. Dene and I are sending a bunch of blessings and inspirations your way. Audience, just remember, as in our title, A Flower of Power, Dene has mentioned it. Keep growing every day. There might be some detours along the way, but if it is what you're passionate about, go ahead, pray about it, give it to God, and have faith in it, and then go on your journey. Go ahead and be God's flower power. God bless y'all. We love y'all and have a wonderful, blessed day.